You open your eyes, and you're in the Middle Ages. And no, don't get excited. You're not a noble. Do you really think you would be royalty if we teleported you back in time? Of course you're a peasant. Your house is just one single room. That's it, one. And that one room has to be a bedroom, kitchen, living room, storage, an emergency farm, because the animals sleep inside with you to keep warm. Chickens, goats, maybe a pig. The floor is dirt, literally dirt. Every time someone walks, dust floats in the air. You breathe it all day. There's no glass in the windows, just uneven wooden shutters that kind of close if you kick them hard enough. So the light comes in, the cold comes in, and the flies come in too. By night, the same gaps let out the heat you spent all day trying to trap. You don't sleep on a mattress. You sleep on straw stuffed into a cloth bag. Lice live in it. Fleas live in it. And at this point, you've simply accepted them as roommates who don't pay rent. Every morning when you stand up, your back feels like you fell asleep on a pile of gardening tools. You hear movement around you, because yes, you're not alone here. Your whole family sleeps in this one room. Everyone. Parents, siblings, children. And even that one uncle who showed up 2 years ago just for a few days and somehow never left. Privacy is not a concept. The moment you're awake, you hear coughing. People here cough more than they breathe. You see, most peasant houses had an open fire burning inside the same room people slept in. There was often no chimney, or a very poor one, so the smoke didn't leave. Day after day, year after year, people breathed it in from childhood. Everyone smells terrible. Imagine a mixture of wet dog, sweaty armpit, rotten milk, and burned wood. And this is before anyone starts working. And before you even stand up fully, your stomach already complains. You're hungry. Good news, breakfast exists. Bad news, breakfast exists. You stumble to the kitchen, which is just the same room, and breakfast is waiting for you. It's a wooden bowl full of pottage. What is pottage? Imagine a stew that has been boiling since your great-great-grandfather was alive. Every day, they don't make a new stew. They just add more stuff into the old stew. Grains, roots, random vegetables, maybe a bean, maybe a pebble. Whatever fell in the pot. The stew is older than most people in the room. Pottage was the main food for most peasants in medieval Europe. People ate some version of it almost every day. Your spoon is a stick that someone carved with a knife they also used yesterday to castrate a goat. Hygiene was not invented yet. Next to the bowl, you get a piece of bread. Not soft bread, no. This bread is a medieval weapon. You could literally crack someone's skull with it. This bread is harder than your will to live. It's made of cheap flour mixed with random filler like sawdust, bark, or powdered grass. You soak it in the stew until it softens enough that your teeth stand a chance, and sometimes the flour itself was dangerous. Medieval rye could be infected with a fungus called ergot. People who ate it sometimes experienced hallucinations, gangrene, and in extreme cases, death. And for drinks? Beer. Yes, first thing in the morning, everyone drinks it, even the kids, because water could easily kill you faster than a sword. Rivers and wells were full of parasites, animal waste, diarrhea, and whatever the town dumped upstream. Beer was safer because the brewing process involved boiling the liquid and fermenting it, which killed most of the dangerous bacteria. And it wasn't strong beer like today. Most people drank small beer, a very weak version with very low alcohol that you could drink all day without getting drunk. About 20 minutes after breakfast, your stomach suddenly decides to start a revolution. Not a cute stomachache. Not, oof, I feel a bit bloated. A deep, twisting pain hits you like a spear from the inside, and you instantly know something in that stew was not meant for human consumption. And just like that, you need to go. Now. But here's the problem. There is no bathroom. There is no toilet. You have two options. Option 1, squat over a bucket inside the house and hope nobody is watching. Spoiler alert, everyone is watching. It's the same bucket everyone in your family uses, maybe even the family goat once or twice. Option 2, go outside and dump everything straight onto the street, where every other person in town has done the exact same thing. The air hits you like a wall, heavy, wet, and smelling like something between a swamp and death itself. People open their windows and pour their waste straight into the street. If they were feeling polite, they'd shout, "Gardez-vous!" from the French for "watch out for the water." Except it wasn't water. The result is a brown, bubbling river of everything a human body can produce. It mixes with animal dung, rotting food, dead rats, and rainwater until everything turns into sludge. When it rains, it floods. When it's hot, it steams. Children play next to it, dogs eat from it, and it all flows downhill, right into the same river people drink from. It's why medieval cities were death traps. Contaminated water spread dysentery, typhoid, and other waterborne diseases constantly. People were sick so often they thought it was just normal. Some historians estimate that in crowded medieval towns, the average person had intestinal parasites their entire life and never knew it. It was a system so efficient at spreading disease that it killed tens of millions of people across Europe. And nobody connected the water to the deaths for another 500 years. After you finish your heroic trip to the bucket, your stomach still hurts. It doesn't stop. It growls. It burns. It feels like something inside you is trying to tear its way out. So naturally, it's time to visit your local doctor. Except, there are no doctors. Not for you. Real doctors work for kings and bishops. You get the village multitasker. The same guy who cuts hair, sharpens knives, pulls teeth, drains blood, and probably brews his own beer in the same bucket he uses for amputations. He doesn't wear gloves. He doesn't wash his hands. Soap exists, technically, but it's expensive, and he's saving it for special occasions, like never. You walk in, clutching your stomach, and before you can even say what's wrong, he already knows the diagnosis. Your humors are unbalanced. That was medieval science. They believed your body was filled with 4 magical fluids: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile, and when one of them got out of balance, you got sick. Simple solution: drain you like a water barrel. He ties a rag around your arm, grabs a rusty blade that looks suspiciously like a butter knife, and opens a vein to let the bad blood out. You came in dehydrated, and now you're leaving with half your blood volume gone and a 50% chance of passing out in the mud outside. He might even ask for a sample of your urine, a common method back then. Not to test it, just to stare at it and guess what's wrong by the color or the smell. If bloodletting doesn't work, and it never does, there's always leeches. He keeps a jar of them, squirming in what used to be someone's bathwater. He slaps a few on your skin and waits for them to suck until they fall off. Still not cured? Don't worry, there's one more treatment: prayer. Because if cutting, bleeding, and leeches don't work, clearly you've just angered God. And if you don't start feeling better soon, someone's going to start whispering that maybe, just maybe, you've been cursed by a witch.
Did someone just say witch? Ah!
Yeah, careful with that word, because in the Middle Ages, that's not a joke. That's a death sentence. Most accused were women, but men weren't safe either. If people think you know too much about herbs, or you just look a little too confident while boiling soup, that's enough. One bad harvest, one dead cow, or one neighbor who hates you. And suddenly, you're the village witch. And once the rumor starts, you're in trouble. No one is looking for evidence. They're looking for someone to blame. They'll drag you to the town square, ask, "Are you a witch?" And no matter what you answer, it's the wrong answer. Say no, and they'll say, "That's exactly what a witch would say." Say yes, and you've just scheduled your own execution. The tests are even worse. One method: they tie you up and throw you into a river. If you sink, you're innocent, but you drown. If you float, you're guilty. And they kill you anyway. This was called a trial by ordeal. The idea was that God would decide if you were guilty. Logic wasn't really humanity's strong point back then. 24 hours haven't even passed, and everything is already falling apart. And this wasn't rare. This was normal. Your ancestors lived like this for years, decades, and somehow they survived long enough for you to be here. So yeah, say thank you, medieval grandpa. Every comfort you have is built on a life he had to endure.